Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Sunday Morning Breakfast Presents the Power Review Show. We're here with the usual suspects. I'm Preach, here with Bino. How you doing? Bino's here! How you doing, Bino?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, man. You missed the first review, but you're here. We missed you. We had Trini Man here. One difference immediately that between you and Trini Man, I can understand you.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Yes.
Somewhat.
Yes.
But shout out to Trini Man for sitting in sitting in for you. It was great to have him here, although I think it might have been the third time you watched Power. But he knew quite a bit.
Probably 1.5. But
Okay. I would love to know the story about that.
He kept referring to Ghost as Power. But regardless of what, I'm
Mr. Power.
It's good to be back.
Mr. Power knows no wrong. Yeah, we also have Voice here. Voice, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. And we have Crystal. So moving right along. No, Crystal, how you doing?
Great.
What is the animosity? I don't get it.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't get the animosity. All right, so anyway, we just finished watching episode 502, Damage Control. We had a lot to talk about last week. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who watched, who participated in the review show from last week. Please keep sending them in. Subscribe to the page, SMB, TV. And yeah, man, thank you for supporting, man. And keep supporting. Share the wealth. You know what I mean? Share the content. All right, so where do we start off with? Well, where did we end up last week? So what was going on last week? Dre.
What do you Andre, you get over here right now. Closing all that trouble to poor Ghost in there.
So Dre and Ghost have their standoff out in the cemetery.
That was kind of crazy.
Very
That
crazy.
was
Coming
one
like
of
the father
dopest
of
scenes
death.
ever to me.
Yeah.
It was definitely a high
him.
level of gangster and foolishness at the
Yeah, at the same time,
absolutely.
that father of death look.
Essentially, a line was drawn in the sand. Basically, Dre proclaiming, I better not be touched, or your whole family's gone.
Yep.
So, this episode, in my opinion, started off a little slow. I guess one thing about Power and just great series in general, they have to set the pieces up before they make the grand finale or make the.
They knock them down.
Right. So, I mean, it kind of took a little bit of time to really get going, but in due time, it really did. What are some of the things that you guys noticed off the bat? Where do you guys want to start?
Let's start with Tommy.
Okay. Tommy, we discussed this last week, that he's going to have to pay a price for overstepping his bounds with the Italians, which is his new crew, being obviously since finding out that his father is Teresi and he is a prominent member of the Italian family. And then, recruiting those two guys that we find out in this episode. It started off with one being dead. By the end, we have two bodies
Yes.
that he has to account for. And you'll kind of explain what's going on with that. I mean, simple fact that we knew he had to pay a price. He had the meeting with what was the name of the crime boss or the Italian boss?
Vincent.
So they had to sit down with Vincent, and finally, I guess he loses a lot in equity in terms of the agreement that they had. But it could have been a whole lot worse in the long run.
Right, but Tommy doesn't even get used to anything. Like, you haven't even had a sit-down dinner with your new family before you start messing things up.
Right.
The thing about, sorry, I cut you off. The thing about Power in particular, it's not only just the strive for power, but everyone's in over their head.
Yes.
And Tommy from jump, the first thing you see Tommy, Ghost, and Kane and me.
Right.
The damn Russians he works for, they on his ass.
Right.
Apparently he did something where the guys got killed the first scene,
Yep.
and they're all at the pier or whatever.
Right.
So two of his guys got killed, and now he's in trouble with them.
Yep.
So he owes them money.
Yep.
And now he got it to the point where Ghost and Kanan now are involved with his craft.
Yes. They put him in. They pretty much got recruited.
Yeah, pretty much. And so now it's this whole.
Less.
We'll edit that out. But now it's this whole three the hard way now, where we kind of knew this already, but
They're back to back like double dragon and shit.
yes, now you three have to work together, and they're all standing there with their guns up.
Yes.
Right. Which we kind of understood that, but it's like, all right, we're kind of reestablishing that again. But one thing I wanted to really attack this, and I thought this was an issue at the tail end of last season and the beginning of this season, was I didn't really feel like Ghost was grieving the death of a daughter. And obviously, when you lose a kid, you can imagine is one of the worst things that can happen to a person. And you kind of didn't really see that. And this episode really delved into that, where you saw Tasha and Ghost really.
It showed them both grieving differently.
Absolutely.
Right, but I also feel like what people, well, they don't forget because they saw it in this episode, but he's a stone cold killer.
Right.
So the things that he's been through, he just internalizes things
He's
differently than
desensitized.
anybody
Right.
else. He had a club, he was going to lose a club. He had his security turn on him. Like, all these things happen.
Money
so
lost.
anything that happens to him, he's going to deal with it differently than anyone else.
Right.
Well, he shows the public that he's definitely desensitized to a lot, but the thing is, he doesn't want to show
Absolutely.
the public he has a vulnerable side as well.
Right.
So all the
And
things
he's
that
a
he's doing
boss,
is
so he can't even show
exactly.
his workers or
Nope.
other people that he deals with things like they deal with it.
Right. Well, they also have a bigger plan in play where Tasha's like, "Yo, what are we doing? Let's do what we have to do to make sure that we're all get our revenge. One, and two, we make sure we clear our names in whatever situation that can come
Right,
up.
but she's the hothead in the situation. He's the one
You
that
don't blame her though. You can't
no,
blame
of
her.
Well,
course
as a mother, of
I
course
would
not,
never
yeah.
blame her. But the reason why he's prevailed in a lot of situations because he's always kept a level head.
Right.
He has, he doesn't let his emotions supersede his rational thinking.
And
Right.
he's goal orientated. In other words, he feels that getting Dre will calm him down.
Right.
Right.
Will ease some
Right.
of the pain.
Right.
He's made that statement.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And you saw the anger, actually. Sorry about that. You
Yeah,
saw the
yeah.
anger that he had in the last episode after Dre put that card in his. You felt that rage that he's really.
But yeah, because now you're dealing with a whole new stress, and obviously the stress of what we saw, like you alluded to in the beginning of the series of the episode, where now he has to deal with. Now the basic job of the three the hard way, if you want to nickname them that,
Right.
they have to get rid of the Jimenez because Tommy promised to connect that he was going to take care of him,
Right.
which is a tall task, as we've seen how they roll. They're no joke, and so it was just kind of, I don't want to say refreshing, but it's kind of cool to actually see them show that grieving process for both parties
Yes.
with Tasha and Ghost. You saw a little bit with Tommy when he walks into the kitchen where Keisha's at. This was their godfather.
To be fair, we thought that was going to
Yeah,
be one
but
of the.
and we know from
Great Kindle
season one
scenes.
we know from season one how close he is with the kids. Like he was always in the kitchen with them. He's always talking to them. He's always, he has, to me, a closer relationship with the kids than even Ghost does.
Yes, I agree with that.
Right.
And also
he
keep
had
in
to be-
mind, he lost his.
Yes.
Lost his own
Right.
kids.
Oh,
So
yeah,
They
absolutely.
do fill a void, that he has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so let's talk about Dre now, because obviously we have Ghost and we see Ghost in his position. Now I think we start seeing Dre in that prominent boss. I don't want to say boss position, but he's definitely the leader of whatever crew you want to call it. And now one of the things you notice is you see the I don't want to, no pun intended, but the power that he gets kind of overtake him. One of his underlings, one of his sidemen, decided to take it upon himself to carry out a hit when it wasn't requested. He had one job and one job only. He sees one of the what's that gang's name?
The Todos Locos.
One of the Todos walking in the sidewalk. Decides him and his man Spanky make a U-turn, and he makes a hit out on the guy
In broad daylight.
in broad daylight, for that matter. He goes back thinking he's gonna get kudo points from Dre. Dre's gonna love this, and Dre's like, "You're an idiot. I wanted you to do one job, and that was one job only."
Yes.
Right.
And you see
Move
the
product.
whole leadership.
Ah.
You see the whole leadership process with Dre, and how he reacted. You kind of see Dre taking that power and taking that responsibility as a boss, if you want to call
It's
it
the
that.
point I made earlier. Everyone is in over their heads. Every character is in over their heads.
Yeah.
What's his name? Cristobal?
Cristobal, yes.
Cristobal told him. He walked in the room. He wanted to talk to him. He said, "Yo, get your man out the room."
Right.
Oh, nah, he's cool. He stays.
No,
Now you got
Mistake
him
number
hearing
one.
things
Get
that
him
he
out.
should not have heard.
Yes.
And taking things in his hands.
that's a good point.
Exactly.
Right, and that's how Dre started getting in his position because they never took Dre out the room.
Right.
In any season, again, he's worked under Kanan, Tommy, and Ghost. He knows every step they're gonna make before they make it because he learned. They thought, oh no, don't worry about it. He's the manager of the club. He does. They trusted him with certain things, so he should have known better because this is exactly how he came up in the ranks.
Now, do you, as a character, Rotimi, do you believe Rotimi as this new boss character? Because I don't know if it's necessary. I don't really see because you've always seen Dre as his underling, right? But now that he's this leader and this guy who's making moves now and making decisions.
But I think, sorry to cut you off, but I think they're doing it perfectly because they're not making him some stone cold killer that everyone fears and respects.
Right.
Fair.
You're seeing his people underneath him fighting and doing goofball shit.
And you see the mistakes, right?
Yes,
Right.
he's learning.
That's exactly the kind of leader he would be because, again, even though he put in certain time under Tommy, Ghost, Kanan, etc.,
Right.
he's
gonna fail.
He's not
Exactly.
experienced.
He's gonna fail.
That's not his lane.
He's gonna
Right,
fail.
right.
He's gonna fail.
And then you kind of see Angela. Angela is in a position where she's, handling cases. She's in a boss position, and she's handling cases, solving cases. And now you're getting this. In the first episode, it was let's go get Angela. Now with this episode, it seems like Angela, in no way is she out the woods, not by any means. But now she's solving these cases, and now she's looking good in front of her other colleagues.
I think it's a diversion.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They clearly don't respect her.
Not at all. No. I mean, you see it in one of the scenes where she's giving an order to one of the officers, and he's writing on a piece of paper, "Okay, bitch." Yeah. So it's I don't think they've ever. I don't know if it's a woman thing. Obviously, it was the Ghost and James St. Patrick and all the other stuff that she was involved with.
I don't even think it's a woman thing because the black lawyer, they respect her.
Yes.
Right.
They do not respect Angie or this Ghost and
Right.
St. Patrick situation.
Right.
They know she's dirty. They know she's deeper than she appears to be. She lies a lot, and they catch her in lies.
Right.
And they're just waiting to catch her.
Yep.
Right.
It's a matter of time.
But there's one thing that we did mention. I think we mentioned it episode 1 of this year. You see the reconnect somewhat of the James St. Patrick Angela connection.
Yes.
You'd have to be a fool to think that was.
Yeah, that was obviously he's at his weakest right now. One thing I also wanted to delve into, I didn't know, maybe I missed it. He was an alcoholic. He used to
Maybe
be out
in the first or second season
Yes.
they touched on it a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
He does have an alcohol issue.
Okay.
So them showing him drinking, especially out the brown paper bag, is showing how low he's going
Right.
at this point. This episode was big on like opening or addressing how low he's coming now.
Yes,
Because
the vulnerability
like you
side of
said,
him.
in the first episode and maybe the last year, they didn't address how he felt about Raina's murder.
Right.
Enough.
Right.
Right.
But now you're starting to see the pitfalls and him sinking.
And you kind of getting a glimpse into the past of what he was previously before he really got straight. I mean, because now, the ending, it being him kind of avenging another couple's death. So
Being
they go
the
to
friendly neighborhood ghost.
Yeah, they go to this grieving counseling session group, whatever. And one of the couples talk about a drunk driver who killed their kid. And so the father had admitted, I watched this guy almost every week come out the liquor store and go into the car drinking and so on and so forth. And at the end, you see Ghost taking it upon himself to kill that same guy. I don't know if he's your neighborhood ghost man. I don't know what's going on
Apparently.
now. Is he like a new superhero? I have no idea.
It was the most personal kill.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah,
It's almost equivalent to The Wire. Hey, Crystal. Thanks for finally joining us. It's almost equivalent to The Wire when little Mike put the dudes on
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
We know.
You'll forget what I'm saying by the time you get there. You know what I mean? That's season
I'm about to
4.
say spoiler alert.
Wait. To sidetrack, what episode are you at The Wire right now?
I'm only like season 1, episode 6.
Alright, 6 at least. Because she's about to
Yo,
I was about to just sling
It's
it
been a
out
week.
back.
I would have
It's all right,
like.
give
Give me a second.
I know. I understand.
You know who McNulty and D'Angelo
Yes.
are, right? You good?
Yes,
You good on
I'm
that?
good.
That's all that
Good.
matters. Then.
Avon
Good.
Barksdale.
Avon Barksdale.
Good.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright,
Omar.
back to power.
Sexy ass Idris.
Back to power.
All right. So you kind of seeing Ghost kind of getting back into drinking, and let's hope it doesn't. I mean, obviously.
The little bell curve, if you will.
Yeah. I
He
mean.
stab somebody. He didn't shoot him anything. He stabbed.
Yeah,
him.
stabbing is
Personal
very
when
personal.
Yeah, that's a problem. So, what are some of the other things that we noticed from this episode?
Let's talk about Tate.
Oh yeah, that
Man.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
He has a way of bitching Ghost that I've never seen. Like even remember the
Man.
white guy Ghost works for with the club and all that
Before
stuff.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
He
older
wasn't-
guy.
He wasn't this
Correct.
bad.
Even he wasn't as ridiculous as this
Yeah.
guy is. I mean, this guy is using Raina's death for
For
every sort of
checkbooks.
profit. You
Yeah.
saw he's trying to run for governor now
Yes.
and all of this. Like,
Yes.
yeah, he's too much.
But the
yo.
biggest thing was the setup. I mean, the whole idea was to get the couple to go and have a press conference and kind of be adamant about how they want to catch Raina's killer. Obviously, they don't want to do that because that draws more attention to their family,
Yeah.
and more dirt ends up coming from
Right.
coming to the light. And so they're apprehensive about it. They have, I guess, a compromise where he says, "Listen, we'll come to the press conference, but we're not going to make any speeches." This motherfucker Tate then sees them walk in and then announces
Set 'em
them
up.
to everybody. They have to go to the podium now. And so they make their speeches. But yeah, he's a piece of shit. Obviously, he has motives to, I guess, become governor. That's what he's campaigning for. And, they're discussing this whole this what a non-for-profit organization that they're working on to help the kids in the community.
Even though profit's going to come out of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the deal with it. But he ends up being the biggest piece of shit in this whole show.
And you see his looks. It's very dangerous the way he's eyeing Ghost and the way he's bitching him subliminally in public.
Right.
I mean, he had conversations with him. As Ghost was coming to the podium, you see him make that look like you better not.
But the only reason why he's getting bitched like that is because obviously he's grieving from the death of his
and
daughter.
Tate is a councilman. He's a public figure. So
much
can happen to him. You know what I'm saying?
So, it works a little bit differently when you're talking about
But
the
like,
public
it's so
eye.
funny to me that Ghost hasn't tried to get dirt in him already to kind of start. I feel like he's slow on taking him down.
Yeah, he has other priorities.
He's got a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly. Like Tate is not his number one target right now.
I agree. He has a lot going on, but you still calling Angie. Do you see what I'm saying?
I still think he thinks he can benefit from Tate. He doesn't realize that Tate's going to get more out of their relationship than he is. I still think he feels he's going to benefit from their little union here. But Tate is dirty. That Reverend is dirty.
That Reverend is dirty.
No, I don't like any of them.
He's typical T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar type Reverend. Like, he's just dirty, black Southern Reverend type of guy. Like, it is what it is.
Side note, I love TD Jakes.
Bless your heart. Leave your wallet in the room with him. I don't know if I love TD anymore.
All right, so let's do anything else we want to delve into before we get to top winners and losers. Well, Tariq didn't really do much. I mean, now
he promised to be a good boy at his new.
Yes.
I'll believe anything that come out that man's mouth.
Wait, listen. Can we delve into how that Dre's boss wants him to see him sleeping with the same girl and the like?
How did we know that she was going to go? Yeah,
That's a little
we knew she was going to go to that
weird.
part. No, I figured she was going to take it before me, so I was like, let her talk about it first.
I'm just very so Dre walks into the room. He tells him don't leave, and then he turns around and
he's having sex with somebody on the window, right?
The end of the episode, you want to watch him have sex with the same girl. It's very
odd.
It's
interesting you mentioned that because one of the characters we missed from, I guess, the first two seasons is Lobos. Lobos was that very flamboyant character who did crazy things. He was the flamboyant homosexual who did a lot of stuff, but we all loved him because he just had that great attitude. He was just a great character, and I kind of see them kind of sprinkling some of that into this character a little bit.
And also from a drug lord's point of view, if you're running my connect, you're my top guy, I need to get to know you a bit.
Right.
So he's going to put him through
any cost
tests and different foolishness.
Yeah, I don't know about all. I mean,
obviously, I mean, we
no, they go that far. They go that far.
They do things a little different.
Like you like your steak medium rare. Like I need to know that. But all of that,
again,
right.
At the end of the day, too, I mean, he's just a voyeur.
Right.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. That's what they do.
What's a voyeur?
A voyeur is a person that enjoys either having people watch or being watched. So.
Yeah. And Angela's actually getting close into kind of identifying the Jimenez brothers as well. Like, she's kind of following that case and getting a little close to that as well. So, yeah, I mean, that whole connect thing, the Jimenez cartel.
The Jimenez.
all right, Mark.
Yeah, I know, man.
Jimenez.
I'm sorry, my Spanish is terrible. But you're definitely gonna, exactly. You're definitely gonna see them. You're definitely gonna see them. I don't know if it's. I don't want to say break up, but the relationship between them and Dre, I don't think it's as simple as Dre thinks it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it never really is when you really think about it, but. It's never as simple as that. All right, so let's do your top three people and your lower three people. So let's start off with Crystal. Who are your top three people in this episode?
My top three in this episode is probably Tommy.
Really? What about him being one of the top people? Do you like? Why do you?
Because
pick Tommy?
I just feel like without Tommy, you're not gonna have a lot of action. Like he's always doing something so stupid. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he keeps the episode going. Dead in the middle of the beginning of the episode, he gets punched in his face. Like there's so much about Tommy that even he's never gonna be the lower because he's always gonna do something that you're not expecting him to do.
Right.
It's definitely him. It's definitely Keisha.
Okay.
Because I feel like Keisha is going to know a lot more about Tariq than she plans on knowing because she keeps digging into.
Yeah, they kind of set that up too. Yeah, in the kitchen scene where she's like, I'm kind of hanging around to kind of take care of things for Tasha. So yeah. Oh, and she was only in one scene, but that's dope that you peeped that. Okay.
Yeah, and then Tate.
That's one you like Tate.
Yeah, I like what Tate is gonna bring. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. He's never gonna be boring.
All right, and who are your lower three people?
Angie.
Wow.
Angie's
sorry.
fine ass. Leave her alone.
I know. I saw you rubbing the screen earlier.
Yo. I don't know what you're
Gently
talking about.
caressing her face.
No, I wasn't, jerk. Turn off your mic.
We watched the same screen, really?
Right there.
You didn't see him?
No. Voice. Your whoever.
So my top 3 that I like, I definitely would say Tasha. The reason why is because she's definitely showing her vulnerability side, grieving mother, and she's doing what she can to protect her family. She's still running point as far as trying to control Ghost and making sure things are done correctly. And she's seeing on the outside what people are doing to take advantage of Ghost.
Okay.
So definitely that's one. I definitely wanted to give to Keisha 2 as well because I like the fact that she's being smart, but she's being silent about it.
Okay.
To try to get the answers because she feels as though nobody's being straight with her.
Right.
Last one, Kanan.
Okay.
Kanan is actually doing exactly what Dre did.
Okay.
Kanan doesn't know much about Dre, so what he's doing, he's studying, just like Dre was studying.
Right.
But he's doing it on a silent level again.
Right.
So now the fact he's going to learn every single move, he's going to be able to literally be the person that's going to probably do the out.
Right.
Okay. All right. What were your lower 3 people? Who you
Lower 3 people. I definitely would say Angela because she's definitely slipping up.
Okay.
She's still slipping up as well. I think
offended.
the thing
No,
that,
I'm good. Yo,
no, the reason why I'm saying that is
yo.
because all the no matter what you do on the internet, especially when you're on a server that's internal like that, every time there is a touch, regardless of what you do, they'll know and they'll track.
And
you
they
eventually.
actually, they kind of alluded to that with the IT guy coming in and kind of explaining, like, can you get me back? Can you talk to IT to get me back into my login?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So
that will be the link.
and that's gonna probably hurt her in the long
It's
run.
gonna hurt her.
It'll come back to bite her in the ass. So
Absolutely. I would say Tommy, because
Okay.
Tommy has now put not only a monkey wrench through the whole entire plan of getting Dre. He's created a whole slew of problems now. Now they have other connects they have to get. Now their lives are at stake because they were implicated based on the fact that they witnessed the conversation between Mike's deal and the deal. And then last one, I got to give it to Tate.
okay.
And the reason why I'm giving it to
he's
Tate
a
is
piece of
because, yes, he's going to bring a lot to the table. I don't disagree with you at all. But the fact that he's using a non-for-profit organization to receive profit and on the strength of a death of a daughter, and the way that he's actually manipulating the situation, controlling it, and punking this man Ghost.
Right.
I'm sorry, there's no way I can.
No, I
give kudos
agree
to
with
that.
you. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. Where, obviously he just has bigger plans, and he's just
He's
playing everybody.
dangerous.
Yeah, he's
Probably
playing
one of
everybody like
the
he's a
most-
politician.
But he's probably one of the most dangerous ones to mess with because
Yeah, he's
he's
a politician.
literally an untouchable.
Let me ask you guys a quick question before we move on. Who's a bigger threat, Tate or the Jimenez, towards Ghost?
Tate.
Tate. Because Tate literally has Ghost's life in his hands. This whole situation, the fact that he exposed him in the public, could lead to now more answers to all the investigations that are being done. They
Right.
want it to be silent. The fact that they're exposed now, a lot of people, photographers, you got stalkers, you got a whole bunch of people going after them. They're going to be taking pictures, going to their house, taking their every move.
Right,
now.
but they were already doing that when Ghost was under investigation. Because remember, the
Yes.
photographers used to be at the kids' school.
Now the Ghost. Now you got Tasha. Now you got the
Well, they were doing it to
family.
all of them.
You got the whole entire family. I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Now going to be watched by all these
All right,
paparazzis.
Vino, who do you think is much more dangerous to Ghost, the Jimenez or Tate?
I still think it's a menace.
Yeah.
Because eventually, Ghost is going to do what Ghost does. Going to find some dirt and jam Tate up.
Okay.
I don't think Tate leads a cartel.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
He's still just a councilman who's he's a politician. It depends on what you think is more dangerous, being
Right.
targeted by a cartel or a politician.
Right. Right.
Depending on who he knows.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
In this
think it's
situation,
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause he
gonna
knows.
go with the cartel.
Okay, that's
Right.
fine.
No, that's fair. I don't know. I think Tate is, like I said, it's when you have as many connections and as much power as Tate does, and he's kind of enthralled in the whole family. He has a lot more influence, whereas Jimenez have Dre as their middle person. So I feel like Tate is a lot more dangerous than the Jimenez.
He
All right.
seems to know a lot of people too, especially on
Of
the
course, that's what I
cartel
mean.
side.
He's very connected.
He could use the cartel.
He's a politician, man. All politicians are like that. All right, so my top 3 people, I would give it to, I would give one to who is the Teresi's sidekick?
That would be Sammy.
Yeah,
Sammy, where, he's looking at Tommy like, you idiot, like, don't F it up for me. And mind you, he's still covered for Tommy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Still covered for him. Well, yeah, it's like he's still covered for Tommy even after the fact. When he had a chance to say, you said he handled it. I don't know that. You're asking me, but I have no idea.
He made it clear. I'm going to jump on this with you because he made it clear I'm not going to lie for you again.
Right. Yeah. So Tommy needs to get his act together with that. My second top person of this episode, I would have to give it to the lawyer. What's the lawyer's name? Who's trying to get rebarred? Proctor, yes, Proctor.
Or now we know Silvio, what his new name is.
But Proctor is
Savello, sorry.
Well, I mean, I think he did a good job in defending himself and proving his case. I think he'll play a bigger role overall, and as the series.
You see how the other lawyers see him as a threat. They're trying to.
But then you see the other lawyer come in, that cornball. I don't even say his. I don't even say his name. Whatever. I don't care. Well. He used to be a little rascal. He has to plead his case against Proctor, but I thought he handled himself well. I don't know if that proceeding helped him to get rebarred, but I think he kind of held his own. And third would have to be I'm going to give it to Dre as of right now. Although obviously he is getting a little bit power drunk. I think you see it right now, but. I think the fact that he checked the guy for going over his head, making it hot for him, and I think he's kind of watching his step at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I'll give it to Dre. My three losers of this episode, Tate is number one for me. I mean, like to play them the way he did and make them come to the podium when obviously they're a grieving family. Right. Like you're manipulating a grieving family. They just lost their daughter. For your own benefit. Obviously, you see that when he's looking at governor campaign flyers.
You see the way he did it, too.
Yeah,
he called on the phone and said, listen,
he said, it looks perfect.
But have her come to the place, and maybe she will change her mind.
Yeah, right. And so, he's number one for me. Number two, loser, that lawyer, because I just don't like him. The
Silver?
Yeah, whatever, who's messing with Tasha. I just can't stand that dude.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He definitely threw Proctor under the bus.
Maybe, but I think there's a setup going on there. Something tells me there's something going on there between those two.
Granted, he was subpoenaed. He had no choice but to speak the truth, but he definitely threw his man under the bus. No doubt about it.
Yeah. And my third loser would be Ghost, just because you kind of lose, and I don't blame him for it, but he's losing himself in this whole thing. Like this thing of your vigilante carrying out crimes to redeem this family because they lost their job.
Different from what you.
Yeah, it's like fam, like what are you doing? Like what?
Yeah.
Again, he's letting his emotions supersede his rational thinking.
Like, why would you put yourself in that position? Because I mean, this is a far-fetched idea, but you don't know if you get caught for that crime. Let's say there's a camera in that hall in that alleyway or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just putting yourself and your identity in harm's
way.
way.
He was sloppy too.
A lot of DNA.
You stabbed him, which is easier to trace back than come on.
Like, I just
his prints are in the system.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
After that big situation?
Yeah.
It's just like I don't get the whole. I mean, I understand he's grieving, and Angela, obviously, him calling Angela and her not picking up is not helping. But it's like, why would you even?
I think he needed her so he can calm down and not do what he did.
I think that proved that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but still, like, what were you Darkwing Duck? Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't like this. All right, Bino, who are your top three and your lower three?
So my top three, like one of you, is Sammy.
Okay.
Sammy's a good dude. Mm-hmm. He's Teresi's right hand man, and he's taking care of Tommy, and he's holding Tommy accountable.
Clearly the
when he
better side of Tommy. Yeah.
At the end of the day, like he held him down, lied to the boss for Tommy.
For Tommy, could have been
way
worse.
Snuffed him, and I was here for that.
Oh my gosh.
Tommy deserves that and more because Tommy might be. Tommy's on Tariq level as far as fuck ups in the show.
Right.
Yeah. And we'll get to that in a bit.
Right.
Second, Tasha. For reasons you stated. Like Tasha, depending on season, I like or hate her. And for the most part, I dislike her.
Yeah.
But she does a lot of down ass chick type of things that I endorse.
Right.
But what she's doing right now, she's being honest with herself. She's being a human being. She's not just being this I'm a drug lord wife, role that she plays very well. You know what I'm saying? She's in the room. She's trying to confront her feelings. She's trying to get Ghost to confront his feelings.
Yeah, she's
trying to
grieving.
do right by the family, trying to do right by Tariq's badass.
And Rena.
Sending him off to school or what have you, which is probably a good look for him. He needs to go to the army or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, I like what she's doing in that regard, you know? So let's see, my third person. Oh, Proctor.
Yes.
Proctor. Proctor, to me, is probably the best actor on the show right now. Like, every scene he's in, you can tell he's the smartest guy in the room. He speaks with so much charm and elegance, and he can bullshit his way
Very
out
stoic.
of anything.
Yeah.
I like how he rolls.
Poised,
to be honest
yeah.
with you. In the courtroom, he's talking, and he has everyone's attention. He's just that guy. I really dig Proctor.
Right.
Now, my bottom three is very simple. Tommy, Ghost, and Kanan. Kanan, one thing.
Three the hard way.
Yeah, basically.
Three the hard way.
Kanan, one thing we haven't spoken on, he revealed his plan. He's trying to take over Tommy's organization. We didn't speak on that.
Right.
Like, so you're using this whole situation for your gain. I mean, which we already knew. And everyone is questioning.
And we
can
talked
they
about
trust
that
him?
last episode because we always like there has to be some.
There has to
what's-
be something with him.
Yeah, what's the motivation between in Kanan that he's all of a sudden working with
He's
him?
just not a good guy.
But it just doesn't seem that big to me. Taking over Tommy's organization to me is not as huge as a man that tried to kill you and put you under fire.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
trying to figure out where that.
And also, we have to address that denim bubble jacket.
That shit was terrible.
Son, what are you
gotta bring
doing?
old school back, man.
How is this a big rich town you wearing
He's
a
an
denim
original.
bubble jacket? What are
He's
you
an
doing?
original, man. He's an original.
All right, whatever. That's on you, Kanan. So, Ghost for obvious reasons. Just losing his mind right now, and I get why. I mean, we've addressed it here over and over again. We get why, but that last kill was way too personal. And everything you've done, he killed
risky.
up a whole syndicate. Everything he's done, that be the shit he get caught.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It was just too risky.
That
to
dope
do
shit
that.
right there be what he gets caught over. There's
Right.
no gain. In every murder, there was a gain for him.
Right.
There's no gain except emotions in killing that man.
Right.
None for him.
Right.
To me, my opinion. And Tommy, like I said, Tommy is a grown-up Tariq. Just causing trouble wherever he goes. And he keeps Ghost. Like, if Ghost wants to kill Dre and get out of this situation, Tommy's the reason why he's always in this situation. Tommy just keeps pulling you back in with nonsense and bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, he got it. Yeah.
And
Got
this
involved
and the
in a lot of
last thing
things.
before we get out of here, this whole Tariq situation where he was in there only for a couple scenes, but now they've decided to. I think they sent him to the school upstate. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that affects because the trending thing with this show is that everybody hates Tariq. Is it now that we? Do you think he does something dumb before he leaves, or they just kind of like
That would be the Tariq thing to do,
yeah, or they kind of fade him out and kind of keep him safe and all right, we want to keep this character around. We know you hate him. He's gonna take a little hiatus and then he'll come back last 2 episodes or something, or he'll do something stupid, which I think we're all leaning towards.
Yes.
He's probably gonna do something stupid before he goes to school that's gonna mess up the whole situation. For the
Maybe
family.
so. Or you remember, there's always a firm belief that your problems always travel with
I
you.
feel like they're gonna follow him. I definitely feel like they're gonna follow him.
Right. So I mean, look, I think it's a consensus that we still all hate Tariq though.
Yeah, I only have one more issue.
Right.
Where is the youngest child?
Nobody
So
knows.
you saw Tasha was crying in the room.
It's 2
and
beds.
There's 2 beds. The other bed didn't even look slept.
Maybe with Tariq going, she can get a few lines now. She gets some
it's the baby.
attention.
Where's the baby?
Yo,
Poor girl, the damn Jan Brady of the family.
That baby's being innocent.
They called
She's like, I
out
don't want no
Judy
parts.
Winslow from Family Matters this week. Like,
That baby said, I want no parts.
Where is the baby?
Yeah.
if that poor girl grow up to be a killer,
I'm telling
Anybody
you.
see her at the funeral?
like, we know why.
No, she was at the view. It
Well,
was like one
that 1
scene.
second
She
that
was
I
at the
missed,
funeral.
probably. Yeah.
Remember she had that one line last year?
Daddy.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, don't
That
give
baby
her no
said, I
shine
want no
whatsoever.
parts of this whole thing going on.
Any last words before we get up out of here?
Don't be Tariq.
Yeah, bump Tariq, man. I
Don't
ain't
be
lying.
Tommy
Give a
neither.
little baby girl some
Yo,
shine, man.
fuck
Shit.
Tate. That's for
Yes,
damn sure.
girl.
Fuck Tate.
Yeah.
All right, man. So subscribe to the channel. We appreciate the love.
Like, share, comment.
Like, share, comment. We look at the comment section. Oh, next time we gotta talk about some of the things that are said in that comment section, just to shout you guys out and kind of give you guys some recognition. So we appreciate it. Check us out Sunday morning breakfast. Excuse me, every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. or Facebook Live or YouTube Live, SMB TV. For Voice, for Crystal, for Bino. Welcome back, Bino.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a
Good to be
pleasure to have
back.
you here. For Preach, we out of here. Peace.